So one of the creators of the Boruto manga, his name is Mikio Ikemoto. He mentioned or he said something in the weekly Shonen Jump author comment section, and I'm going to read that to you. He says, "Our anime is getting rave reviews." That's what Mr. Ikemoto says. Rave reviews. Usually, when I think about people's opinions about the Boruto anime, I don't think about them as being raving review. I don't think about, oh yeah, look at all these people raving about the new Boruto anime, because to rave about something implies, that something is just so outstandingly good. Like it is exceptional that everybody's talking about it. If we're talking like Rotten Tomatoes wise, that would be like a score of 97% or higher. All right. And when I think about people's thoughts or opinions about the Boruto anime, I know there's some people that like it, but I wouldn't necessarily consider them or describe them as being raving. Look at all these raving people. They think it's such an amazing thing. When in fact is, at least the consensus that I've seen, is that people think it's an okay show. It's okay. It's average. It's an okay show, at least for the beginning stages of what we've gotten thus far. It's okay. And then Mr. Ikemoto goes on to say, Boruto and crew are now at the academy age, so go check out their springtime of youth. I like how he tries to sell it as, they are now in the academy age. Not just, they're in the academy, no, they are now in the academy age. The wait is over, Now they can actually enroll in the academy and do ninja-like stuff while being in the academy, as opposed to what, like like what would we be watching? What kind of a show would this be if they were not in the academy? If they were like pre-academy, that would be an awful boring show. It'd just be like, tune in next week when we see Boruto mow the lawn or Shikadai do dishes. So with that said, welcome to my non-raving review of the latest episode of the Boruto anime. It was a pretty basic episode. Evil Shino got defeated by the end, which, that's something that we could have predicted. It's a predictable thing that should have happened in this episode. We still have no idea who's behind the attacks, who's the mastermind behind them. Although by the end of this episode, at least Naruto Hokage and Shikamaru get involved, to the point of like, okay, we have to start an investigation because, this is getting out of control. And actually, we can infer something about the person who's behind the attacks, because by the end of the episode, both Shikamaru and Naruto agree to the fact that if Shino had been using his full potential to attack Boruto and his friends, they would have gotten fodderized. I mean, they would have been destroyed. So it's kind of like Shino took an L, but not really. And, what we can conclude from this is the fact that whoever's in charge of these possession-type jutsus is that, I think, what it means to me at least, is that they're probably not too strong, because these possession jutsus don't have the ability to sort of get into the user's full potential and make use of that potential, because Shino was still kind of holding back after the possession. So it's kind of like, oh, so did the user not know that Shino could do other things aside from the ones that he did in this episode? Or maybe the possession jutsu just wasn't as strong so as to force Shino to just like go all out, which again kind of speaks about the power of the user of the possession type jutsu. All right. So yeah, I have to say that after this episode, I don't think that whoever's behind the attacks is as strong as I initially thought he would be, or she would be. I don't know. And and it makes sense that that's the case, because again, Boruto is at the academy age now. So I'm pretty sure that whoever this person is, Boruto has to be the one to defeat him. And as of right now, I really do not expect Boruto to be taking down Kaguya level type of opponents by himself. That would just make no sense. If that were the case, if the threat were that big, he would probably need help, kind of like how he needed help in the movie. But if Naruto comes in to save the day, I can predict that I think Boruto's going to be super pissed off. And maybe that would make sense in terms of Boruto the movie as to why he has so much resentment towards his pops. It's because he feels like his pops is constantly there to overshadow him. And again, it's that struggle of like, I'm not like him. I'm not like him. I'm somebody different. That's something that we constantly get reminded of in this show, which is super interesting, because I don't know if you noticed this in this episode, but Boruto constantly keeps talking about not giving up. That whole lake sequence I thought was hilarious, because the kids come up with this plan to trap or defeat Shino near the lake. And Mitsuki is actually the MVP of this entire scene. So he uses electricity on Shino, that knocks him out, and he throws him out of the water. But then he finds out that he's run out of air, like he just doesn't have enough oxygen, so he begins to drown. Kind of reminded me of that opening from Shippuden. What's it called? Diver, I think, right? Oh shit, I'm drowning, I'm drowning, I'm drowning. And then Boruto tries to play the hero, goes in there, he begins to lose his breath as well. So it's a good thing that Shikadai didn't jump in after them, because then you would have three, possibly three casualties there. Shino wakes up and he's like, okay, I gotta go in there. I thought that he was actually gonna go in there and take them by the arms and just, be like this, really, really fit guy and just get him out of there. But no, he actually uses his own summoning, which is a giant bug. Now, here's the thing about that, because I do remember that during the Infinite Tsukuyomi, everybody was dreaming about what they wanted and stuff, their fantasy. And Shino, he was dreaming about riding this giant bug. So it kind of does seem like at the end of the day, his dream came true. So the lesson of the day, kids, is do not pretend to be a lifeguard, especially if you're just a bootleg version of your dad. Don't do it. Like I said, it was a pretty basic episode. The two most interesting parts of it were actually the exact same parts that I found interesting in the last episode, which were Mitsuki and Shino. Shino with his struggle of, overcoming, the social awkwardness that he has. By the end, we even get a shot of Kurenai saying, you may not have people skills, but you never give up, to quote Naruto and now Boruto, you never give up trying to reach out for people, and that's why you have so many good friends. So I think that was pretty good character development for him. And Mitsuki, just in general, because he's dark, he doesn't fit in because he has a twisted way of viewing things. Like when they were in the tree coming up with the plan, he's like, yo, we're gonna have to kill him eventually. Like, this is how reality works. Like if this guy doesn't stop, we have to, it's like our survival. We have to do these things. And Boruto and Shikadai are like, wait, what? And we know also that Mitsuki knows something about the possession jutsu. It's just that he won't expand on what he knows yet. He doesn't reveal that, but we know that he knows. Shikadai knows that he knows. So Mitsuki and Shino, I definitely thought were the most intriguing parts of this whole thing. And next week, we saw the preview there. I'm glad we're going to get some Chocho. And but there's also something really weird going on with this new character. So I want to find out more about what that will be. But again, other than that, what I thought about this episode was that it was just a very basic episode. And what I mean by basic is that it plays it too safe. That's what I mean. It doesn't take a lot of risks, and therefore it's not. I mean, there's just like the payoff and the level of threat isn't that high because it plays it safe. And I don't know if that's what it wants to do. And I think I'm going to need to watch more episodes to figure out if that's something that it wants to do. But yeah, it just felt super, super safe. A super safe, basic episode. That's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Like the video if you did. I know we sometimes disagree, but I'm just telling you my honest opinion. And, I can't control what you think of me, but I can only be honest about what I think about the show. So thank you for watching. I was going to say comment down below, and you can do that if you want. Or you can just leave me a raving review of this episode if you want to. Thanks, guys. Bye.